There are a lot of mistakes that I made when starting off my digital art journey. A lot of mistakes that looking back didn't seem that big of a deal, but at the end of the day kind of slowed down my process in growing. It sort of just stifled my progress overall. A lot of digital artists, including myself, kind of make this mistake starting off. At least I feel like it's a mistake, especially if you're doing like a digital painting style. I feel like if you're like a concept artist or something, I feel like I don't know how much of a mistake this is because it's a very complex process and like there's a lot of layers involved. But like for the style that I do and a lot of digital artists, you don't need that many layers. I remember when I was first starting out, I would make a layer for, I kid you not, everything on my painting. I had a layer for the eyes, I had a layer for the nose, I had a layer for my eyelashes, I had a layer for the highlights in my eye, I had a layer for just like the most random things because I was like, I need these many layers because if I mess up, I can just delete. Like it was too much. Like it was too much. And by the end of a project, like I was just drawing a simple face, and by the end of the project, I had like 40, 50 layers. And I'm thinking, why do I have 40, 50 layers? There's no need. The worst thing with working with too many layers is when you need to change something on a layer, you gotta go through all of the layers to find that one little brush stroke that is on layer 24 or something. Like you don't need to have that sort of friction when it comes to creating art. Not only does this increase the time that it takes you to actually create an art piece, but it kind of stifles your creativity and your flow. Now that I've realized that this was a mistake, I now use like maybe 1 to 3, maybe 4 layers in my art piece. So here's my setup. Like this piece right here, I usually have 1 to 2 layers for the sketch. The sketch is made up of, I do like a quick little blocking in where I want the features to go, and then the second layer is like a defining of the sketch. And then I have 1 or 2 layers for the actual painting. Now, I find that, this method of using 1 layer for painting mimics actual painting, if that makes sense. Because you only have 1 canvas when you're painting. And when you make a mistake, you're painting over that mistake and it's creating that character, creating that texture and everything in the actual piece. But if you physically need extra layers for different things, like if you're adding different elements, I guess it's fine. But I kind of veer towards lesser amount of layers if possible. Like I did this piece for an event and it was like a live painting, it's digital art, but I did like a live painting thing and it lasted for about 4 or 5 hours. So just being able to create the actual painting process on 1 layer allowed me to be present with the people who are interacting with me. I didn't have to worry about layers. I didn't have to it also helped me speed up my painting process. I was able to finish this entire painting in 1 event. And so these are kind of things where painting on as little as less layers as possible is very helpful. Try painting on 1 or 2 layers, maybe 3, and also try merging layers as you're going along your process. It just keeps everything clean together, speeds up the process, helps you stay in that flow state of drawing, of creating, and I feel like overall, this is something that has improved my digital painting process altogether. Now, this is a topic that I'm actually really passionate about because my experiences have really altered my opinions on this, on the infamous smudge tool. In theory, the smudge tool is a perfect tool that digital artists can use. It helps you blend everything so perfectly, so seamlessly. What could be so bad about that? Let me tell you, I think the smudge tool in and of itself is a great tool. Don't get me wrong. The idea, the concept behind it, very good. I mean, like in painting, you have your smudge brushes sometimes. You can blend things with your brush. It's the same kind of concept, but it's just not for me. It's not for me. I feel like when I use the smudge tool, my colors in my piece become very muddy. It loses its structure to the face, and it kind of makes my painting look really flat. What you really want to focus on when you're digital painting is transitional colors. For instance, when you look at your skin to a light source, you'll see this sort of reddish glow. I don't know the science behind it, but I think it's the blood pumping through because you're alive, right? That's kind of just how transitional colors work. It's the color in between the color that you want it to be. It's the way that the light hits the different planes of the face, the body in different ways. I'm not an expert. This is just what I've learned. Anyways, you kind of want to reflect that in your art. Not only that, but you are preserving that texture of the original paintbrush that you used. A lot of the times, what I really like in art, people that I look up to, an artist, digital artist, even that I like in my art is the texture, is being able to preserve that brush stroke and just creating texture in your piece. And I feel like the smudge tool just takes all of that away. Now, if you're hell bent on using the smudge tool, go ahead, use it. I can't tell you what to do really, but just try focusing on creating those transitional colors in your piece. I think it just makes for like a cooler art piece altogether and helps you keep that structure within the art piece. Now this one's kind of similar to the smudge tool point that I made earlier. So I'm not gonna get too much into depth with it, but painting with an airbrush tool, you lose all texture, you lose all depth, in my opinion. Like when you look at actual painting, you rarely see people paint with an airbrush tool. They use like a brush, a paintbrush, or palette knife or something. They only use the airbrush tool when they're trying to get a certain effect. I just try to stay clear of the airbrush tool as much as possible. I just don't find that it gives me the look that I'm looking for. You know, improving, getting better at art, all of these things take time. And I'm still learning that. Like, you can't rush this process at all. I remember when I was first starting out, I would beat myself up for not having the perfect painting the first try, or having my vision. I wouldn't be able to relate my vision with my skills that I currently had at that time. And it frustrated me, and I would beat myself up because I couldn't get it exactly how I wanted it to be. And digital painting is so much different than actual painting. You're not only having to work with a pen on a glass screen, so the tactile feeling of it is completely different, but also you're having to manipulate these digital brushes to create a look that you want that sort of emulates painting, if that makes sense. And obviously, I am not the best digital artist or painter out there. I do not claim to be. But I have seen progress in my work over the years by actually just understanding that a lot of the times your growth as a digital artist is not going to happen overnight, is not going to happen within the next week. It helps you to actually just reel it in and understand that you have the ability to continue on, and it motivates you to continue on. It's like going to the gym. No one expects that after one workout, you're going to be ripped and jacked in like this perfect physique. But everyone kind of knows that you have to put in a couple months. Like, you have to put in the work to be able to get the physique that you want. You're not going to see results right away, but everyone knows that consistency breeds results, and the results will come. And because of that, we continue to work at it. The same thing kind of can be applied to learning digital art. One painting or study isn't going to make you a complete master. It's the consistency in doing those things that will help you improve and motivate you to continue to keep going, even though you don't see the results right away. Anyway, those are my mistakes that I have for you guys. Let me know if you guys have made these mistakes in the past or are currently making them now, or if you don't even think these are mistakes at all. Let me know. I love the conversation. This is kind of just what's helped me, but I love hearing about different viewpoints. Anyways, that's all for me. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it and subscribe down below. And I will see y'all in my next video. Bye.